everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jordan and today I'm going to be talking about all the books that I read in January 2023. Apologies for angle changes and lighting. I'm just trying to find the best lighting, but it is currently 8 o'clock at night and all I have is a lamp over there in the corner to light the studio. So I'm doing my best. So apologies if it's really dark. This is what I've got. So January 2023 was a good month for me considering I work full-time. So here are just some basic stats for you guys. I read a total of 7 books, which was a total of 3,533 pages, an average of 114 pages a day. My average rating was 4.21. My average book length was 474 pages. I read 1 dystopian, 3 fantasy, 2 mystery thrillers, and 1 romance. I read 3 ebooks and 3 physical books. And then 1 mixed media. 2 of them were young adult, 1 of them was new adult, and 4 of them were adult. And then I gave out 1 at 3.5 stars, 4 4 stars, and 2 5 stars. Again, my rating system, arbitrary. Don't hold too much by it, just I enjoy most books I read. So I guess we can start off with the first book I read in January, which was A Shadow in the Ember by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the first book in the Flesh and Fire series, the prequel series to Blood and Ash. I went into this honestly not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. I just kind of wanted to read it because I wanted to know what happened in the next installment of the Blood and Ash series. But oh my god, I absolutely loved it. I honestly think I enjoyed this more than I enjoyed the Blood and Ash books, which I did also really enjoy. I don't know if you want a summary of this one because it's a prequel series, but I can just give you a general summary of From Blood and Ash, which is the very first book in that world. This book follows Poppy, who is the maiden, who she basically cannot be spoken to, cannot be touched, cannot really form relationships with anyone. She is God's chosen, basically, chosen by the gods. So she has to remain pure. She has these guards to protect her or protect people from her. Anyway, something happens and one day the mysterious Hawk becomes her guard. Things ensue, romance ensues, there's this warring territory, politics. I know I'm not explaining this very well, but it's been a while since I read From Blood and Ash, so I don't really want to get into spoiler territory. But these books are just so addicting. They're not the best written. I do think they improve a little bit more with each installment, and A Shadow in the Ember ended up getting 5 stars from me. I fell in love with characters. I loved the world. I loved the stakes and the plot twist and the cliffhanger at the end of the book. Now I have to read War of Two Queens in order to find out how that plot twist from the Shadow in the Ember, how that resolves. There's a lot going on and I'm very grateful that there is a lot to read in this world. But yes, A Shadow in the Ember received 5 stars from me. My first book of the year was a 5-star read, which is fantastic. And again, I know this book is probably not everyone's cup of tea, but it was mine. The next book I read in January was The Score by Elle Kennedy. This is the 3rd book, I believe, in the Off-Campus series, which is a series that follows these hockey players and their girlfriends or girls that they find romance with or that they like. You know the gist. This one follows Dean and Allie, who is the main character from the first book's best friend. They have a one-night stand. It's them trying to figure out where to go from there, basically. Don't want to give too much away. It's a romance novel. You probably know what happens. This was not my favorite in the Off-Campus series. I will probably say it's my least favorite so far. I still really enjoyed it, but it wasn't my favorite. I really do enjoy these characters a lot. I do like this world that Elle Kennedy has built, so I'm intrigued to get to the rest of the books in the series and the spin-off series, which is Briar U. They're just fun little addicting reads with a decent plot and characters that you do get invested in, and I'm a sucker for a good well-developed character story. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say than I enjoyed it and I'm looking forward to continuing on with the series. But this one did end up getting a 4-star from me, which I think might be the lowest rated in the Off-Campus series so far. I'm not quite sure. The first book is still my favorite, definitely. The next book I read for a book club or a read-along that's happening, and that is The Wheel of Time Along, hosted by Sandra over at Got a Thing for Things. So I read The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. Very thick book. I enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it as much as I did because I've seen the TV series, so I kind of knew where things were going. I could picture the characters a lot, so I didn't really have difficulty in that. And I knew the basic gist of the story, I knew the basic gist of the world, and I was interested in the world from the TV show. So I did enjoy this a lot more, I think, because of that. The Wheel of Time, I honestly don't even know how to begin describing this epic fantasy series. Basically, time is a wheel, things continue to happen over and over again, and I think they're trying to like break the cycle, find the dragon reborn. This book is basically just a bunch of kids on a mission with an Aes Sedai, this leader, this magical leader. Like I said, I really did enjoy this world, and I already knew everything that happened in this book pretty much, but I am super interested in continuing to see more of this world. I think this really did set up for a really good series. I know this is very well loved. Honestly, just your classic fantasy series with a bunch of creatures and magic and traveling, a lot of traveling. It did get a little bit boring there in the middle, but then multi POVs were introduced, and that kept it a little bit more interesting because you wanted to see where everyone was at, and whenever you would come to a chapter break you would want it to be a certain character, but it wasn't. So yeah, this book ended up getting a 3.5 stars from me. It has a lot of potential as a series to be one of my favorites, but this book was decent. It was a good setup. The next book was a reread, and I reread it for a book club that I've started at my work. And the first book that people wanted to read was Verity by Colleen Hoover. Again, this is a reread for me, so I knew everything that happened. I just wanted it fresh in my mind to discuss with my coworkers. If you do not know anything about this book, which honestly you probably do, it is a romantic thriller, which I think that just says a lot. Basically, this famous writer Verity something has happened to her and she is unable to continue writing her series. So Lowen, our main character, is brought in to finish her series. She spends time at Verity's house going through all of her books and everything to figure out a plan to continue and finish off the series, and she comes across this manuscript, and there are some dark things in that manuscript. Yeah, I really do enjoy this book. It's very messed up, but it's honestly scary at some points. There were some points where my heart just kind of stopped. I do feel like the ending was a little bit of a letdown in my opinion. I feel like there could have been a bit more of a bang. It just kind of felt a little rushed. The build-up was there. The execution at the end was not. I do enjoy reading from an unreliable narrator, and my god, was this an unreliable narrator story. Yeah, I mean, this was a good reread. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time. I enjoyed discussing it with my coworkers. Always a fun time to just discuss books with other people who might have different opinions than you and see what else they have to add to the layers of the story. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I got this, and this received 4 stars from me. The next book I read in January was 9 Liars by Maureen Johnson, which is the latest installment in the Truly Devious series, which is one of my favorite series of all time. Truly Devious follows Stevie, who is a student at Ellingham Academy. It has like dual kind of timelines where back in like the 1920s, I think, when Albert Ellingham opened Ellingham Academy, a murder happened, a disappearance happened, his wife went missing, a student was murdered, and Stevie Bell in present day has come to the school basically to solve that mystery. This is the 5th book, which is kind of like a spin-off, a sequel kind of. There's the first 3 books, which are a trilogy that tell the story of Ellingham Academy. Then there's The Box in the Woods, and then 9 Liars, the last 2 falling to other mysteries. So this was definitely my least favorite of the series so far. I felt like this focused way too much on the drama of the kids, and that wasn't exactly what I wanted. It was like 100 pages in before Stevie even learned of the mystery, which, I don't know. I want more focus on the mystery than the dramatics of teenage relationships, but again, maybe that part of the book wasn't entirely for me because I am 25. So I'm not technically a teen, which this is a young adult book. I'm just here for the mystery. I'm here for the vibes, the fun, the entertaining, the whodunits. The mystery itself was fascinating. I really enjoyed that aspect of it, but again, there wasn't enough of it. It's the biggest book in the series so far. The focus was way too much on the dramatics of seniors in high school's lives, so couldn't relate at this moment. It did end on a cliffhanger. I'm very mad about the cliffhanger, but I'm going to read the next one because I love these books so much, and I also need to know the resolution of said cliffhanger. This ended up getting 4 stars from me, which I think is the lowest rated in the Truly Devious series thus far. Maybe 1 or 2 others got 4-ish stars, but most of them I believe have gotten 5 stars. I've loved them that much. I just missed the school setting, and the mystery of the school was fantastic, and we really got to dive deeper into it, especially as it was a 3-book mystery, and this one is just fit into 1. Yeah, I still love this series a lot. This was just my least favorite. Still got 4 stars though. The next book I read in January was Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas. This is the 4th book in the Throne of Glass series, and oh my god, I'm so glad I finally got to this book. This is definitely my favorite in the Throne of Glass series thus far. If you don't know, Throne of Glass follows Celaena Sardathian, a notorious assassin in Adarlan, who, before the events of the first novel, is sent to this prison in Deauville, and at the beginning of Throne of Glass, Prince Dorian takes her out of the prison and takes her back to the capital, where he has her compete as his champion to become the king's champion, or basically the assassin for the king. While she is in the castle, things start happening, demonic things, magical things, mysterious things, and Celaena has to figure out what's going on while she's trying to win the competition, but also she wants to, you know, stay alive. Yeah, I just loved this book so much. I loved being back with certain characters and certain characters being back together. I just felt like the plot really developed a lot more in this book. Heir of Fire was definitely my least favorite in the series thus far, so I'm glad this one was my favorite, and honestly it made me immediately pick up Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn, which I'm doing a tandem read for as we speak. Queen of Shadows definitely reignited my love for this series, and I'm very grateful for that because I want to finish out the series, get to Kingdom of Ash soon, and have finished Sarah J Maas's first full series. I'm super excited. Yeah, this book was just fantastic, and it ended up getting a 4.5. No, this ended up getting a 5 stars for me. So 2 5 stars in 1 month. Awesome. And the last book that I read in January was LMNOP by Mark Dunn. This is a book that my coworker lent me. She said it was her favorite book, and it was less than 200 pages, I believe. So it was a book that I just read in a day. It's told entirely in the format of letters. And basically this island off the coast of South Carolina has become their own nation, and the founder of this nation, or one of the most prominent figures that hailed from this area, created the sentence, "The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog." And so it's like written on this statue in the public square or whatever. And one day one of the letters falls off, and the town council takes it as a sign that the people are to stop using that letter. Thus more letters fall off, thus people are prevented from using such letters, and there are some catastrophic consequences for accidentally even using these letters. You've got public reprimand, being whipped or put in stocks, or the third one is banishment from the island. So quite intense, kind of dystopian-esque novel. It was a really fast read. It was very interesting. I don't think I've ever read a story told entirely in letters before, and that was a fun aspect of it. Yeah, it was fun to try to kind of figure out this mystery as you're reading it, how they go about using less and less letters. Yeah, it was an overall really fun read. I ended up giving it a 4 star. Yeah, I always enjoy reading other people's favorite books. It's just so fun when people share their love for books with me. I love it so much. So there you guys have it. Those are all 7 books that I read in the month of January. I think I had a really great reading month, and I'm really excited to see where the rest of 2023 goes. But yeah, that's all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what your favorite read of January was, and I will see you with another video soon. Bye!